boys, so today we're gonna talk about a topic that particularly triggers me, and those are the so-called anti-eco rounds or anti-force rounds. So it's basically the round where you win the pistol round, the second round the opponent force buys, and you can see the team a lot of times team winning the pistol round actually losing to a force buy, and that happens a lot on Dust 2 as well on the T side, which I don't think should happen that often because of the nature of the map itself. So ignore the players for now. I only did this so I can draw on the whole map. So what I think that the T's should utilize the most on this map is long, because look at the distance here. You have the AKs, the scouts or whatever, and you should just utilize. This is the advantage you have. You want to go for those long range duels. You don't want to give the CTs close range battles when they have CZs, 5-7s or whatever, because that's where they can, you know, punish you. So basically what I would recommend the teams do, if they have a good spawn, they can just go straight out long, because you need to realize this. The CTs, when they force buy, as you can see in this case as well, when CTs force buy, if they buy head armor, which they probably will since you can get SMGs, they won't have any resources. They won't have any nades, no flashes, no smokes. I mean, you all play Dust 2. Imagine, you know, how hard it is to fight for long control if you don't have a single nade on the CT side. It's virtually impossible. So if you have a good spawn, you can just do the norm, you know, the thing where you throw a smoke here, throw flashes across, and just brute force your way towards long. After that, you can throw a smoke here. If you want to do that, it's also important to have Molotovs. You can. These are the two, you know, punishable areas. These are the two areas where the CTs can get, you know, those close range fights where they can hide behind the box and wait for you and so on. Also this position, but this is much more easily tradable than the two ones in the site. And maybe keep an eye out for this spot as well later on. So if you have a good spawn, just do that. If they're there, good for you. You can get the good trades with guns and get even easier entry into the site. A lot of people, when I tweeted about this, they told me, yeah, but what about the guy here with the scout just jumping and, you know, tagging your players and so on? Well, what you should do, if you don't see anyone here, if you're running out long immediately, you should guess that, I mean, it's probably obvious at this point that, you know, if they had money to buy a scout, they probably put it here to hold long and they boosted two players towards short, right? So what you want to do at that point is throw one pop flash to make him hide while you get your scout, if you have it, in the pit, and AKs as well waiting for him. And at that point, you shouldn't, I mean, this player, if with a scout, should not be able to re-peek twice after you set up here. You have to get that kill at that point, because otherwise you're just messing up your aim. So those are the two things you can do. I mean, this is what you can do if you run out immediately. If you don't have a good spawn, maybe you can just get, you know, send one guy to get info here. If he sees someone, then he can fall back a bit, hold like a more defensive line like this if someone tries to, you know, walk through the door or tries to get behind this spot as well. But I would still go long a bit delayed, you know, why not? Just if you know no one's close, then you can just throw a pop flash if the player's behind this barrel. Then you can trade if a player is here or even in the pit. I mean, these are not really good spots for pistols at this point. You can even throw a smoke here if you want, you know, play it like it's basically a gun round, right? And you can have 4 of your players here from the beginning of the round. Just have one player watch the flank, and you can have the 5th player, if you want, outside B tunnels, you know, waiting for some push, or you don't have to. You can just have, if you're gonna do it, you know, pretty quick, you can have all 5 players towards long, because as I said, you can use the numbers here. It doesn't matter even if you have 4 CTs waiting for you, even 5. If you have control of long, you know where they can be, behind the boxes, waiting for a, you know, to throw a flash of the wall that's gonna pop here, maybe, you know, holding a line from here and so on, and you can clear all of that with some good team play and good use of your resources. Now if you say to me, yeah, but how are we gonna buy everything? You know, we don't have money for all the Molotov smokes and so on. You don't need to buy 5 Galils or 5 AKs. Have 2 players who maybe got a couple of pistol kills in the pistol round and have more money. Have them buy an AK and the smoke maybe, and have other players buy an SMG or even a Tech 9 or whatever, and buy all the nades, buy the Molotovs, and those are the players who should use the Molotovs for these positions. You only need 2 basically, maybe 3 if you get smoked off here and then you want to use a Molotov for this or whatever. So that is basically how you can play it for long control. Now another thing that is can do as well, if you have a B spawn, rush B is a completely viable option in my opinion. You just need to have the first guy, maybe the first 2 guys, buy SMGs and you know, flashes, smokes, whatever, and they need to be able to throw a good pop flash that bounces here off the wall, and their job is simply to get as deep as they can into the site, so that the CT players have to be exposed somewhere openly before they kill them, so that your teammates can then get these trades. And you would always want to have at least one of the guys running with his back turned, so if in case the CTs do have a flash, you all don't get flashed by the same thing. Right, so you just, as I said, brute force your way in, you know, play the numbers, get the trades. After that you have an after plant situation, even if it's a 2v3 after plant for the T's, if they're healthy enough and have all the grenades, it's still a favorable situation for them. So these are my 2 main go-to anti-eco rounds for the T's. If you want to mix things up, if you think people are starting to, you know, anti-strat or whatnot, you can play it more defensively, right? Especially if you know that the CTs didn't get a single kill in the pistol round, then they can't buy a scout, so then you can maybe go around mid, throw, you know, clear these parts here, maybe go for a mid to B split. But that's always a problem, because you can have players right here close to the door, somewhere close to the window here with CZs, or here close to the tunnel, and you know, things can get messy then. You know, we've all seen people get a couple of kills with the CZ with just 1 clip. So this is, in my opinion, a much safer option. And I'm gonna actually play out this round so you can see what happened to Team Question Mark, now Astralis, in this particular round against Fnatic at Star Ladder in Minsk. So initially Kerrigan picking mid, gets tagged by Dennis. JW goes for a aggressive push here, trades some damage with Zipnix. He doesn't get punished for that, so he manages to escape, which is really important. Kerrigan exchanges guns with Device. So Dennis gets another tag on Dupree. So now you have 3 players, 2 players who are, you know, below half HP, and Zipnix who lost maybe 30 HP here. And now, in my opinion, you can see that Team Question Mark is a bit confused. They're not really sure what they want to do. You have Kerrigan here throwing a smoke and a flash for no reason. I mean, it did pull off all of Meister, but they didn't capitalize that in any way. So now you see Dennis doing that jumping scout thing behind the box, Flash is close Catfolk, JW close mid. And now Team Question Mark is gonna go for some sort of a fake of going mid or whatever, but that's not gonna work at all, because JW is close behind the doors and he gets all the information. So they waste 2 smokes here. Xipnix with not full HP is the first guy going cat. Flasher gets the kill, but at that point it's 40 seconds left. They know no one is B because they threw a smoke and flash and no one went out. So at that point JW and Olofmeister decide to push. JW gets a kill on Dupree, who was also tagged, who was jumping on the box here, and at this point the round is pretty much over, because they have a fast rotation. Dennis gets another kill here with the scout on Kerrigan, and I mean, it looks, in the end it becomes an easy round for the CTs, simply because they were able to get a couple of tags in, and because they had a good call and good communication and good rotations. So I mean, that's exactly why I think that people should utilize the map more, because imagine what happens with all of theirs in this setup. Even if they have a different setup, it doesn't mind. So JW goes here, gets tags, runs away. You have Dennis here, you can trade with him. Even if you don't, the 3 players here have CZs. They're not gonna be able to do anything in the scenario that I just pointed out. Where are they gonna be? They can't be anywhere close. They can maybe try and run through the smoke, but you will always have a player, you know, you should always have a player looking for that. You have Crimsby the Deagle, who might get, you know, lucky through the smoke, or, you know, he's the only one who can do some long range damage with the pistol besides Dennis. And, you know, I think that it would be a pretty straightforward round for Team Question Mark. But switching to the CT side of things, you know, what you can do on anti-ecos as CT, you know, it is a bit trickier, because the T's can get a plant in the first round, then they can buy smokes, flashes, so it's not as easy as it seems. So you need to be careful with what you do. You should also maybe have a couple of options. So what I would do, let's say if you decide to go for a 3-2 setup, have 3 players on A, 2 players somewhere in B. Now the problem here is, if the T's go for a mid to B split, these players are, you know, gonna have to do a lot of work. So what I would do there is maybe save smokes for them, or at least save one smoke, and have the player who saves the smoke, when he sees he should be jumping near the door to get the info, just, you know, peeking to get the info if they're going for a mid to B split. If they do that, just smoke off door and stand somewhere where you can just watch the window, and have the other player either close tunnels, or if he has, I mean, if he has a SMG, or if he has a good rifle, like, I don't know, FAMAS, M4, whatever, he can stand somewhere else, maybe here, all the way back plat, and so on, and try to, you know, force the T's to funnel through the window where you can get a multi-kill pretty easily, or just play it. That's also like pretty viable. Just play it as you would play a gun round. Have both players watching mid. If they go for mid to B, you clean mid, then you wait for your teammates and go B. Or if the other option is to push tunnels together and clear out upper dark, and then leave them, you know, inside B, or again wait for your teammates. They're going for the retake. Same applies for A side. If you're, let's say, in a 2-1-2 setup like this, okay, this player should be here, then you should maybe, if you see that they bought, you should probably give just give control of the side, try and get a kill, long range, play it safe, again wait for your teammates, push through CT spawn. You're probably gonna have, you should also have a smoke left, so the players rotating can smoke off this area. Then you can go as a unit, you know, clear one spot at a time, go for the defuse, and wait for the T's to peek through smoke. So yeah, that's basically it for Dust 2. I'm probably gonna do this for each of the maps. So yeah, tell me what you think, also if the mic is good and so on, and that's it, boys.